Lee Abbott visits a store to buy oranges for his family on a lovely, bright day. He leaves the restaurant after paying the bill, and goes to a park where his wife Evelyn is observing their son Marcus play baseball. Regan, who is deaf, and Lee's buddy Emmett, who is also present with his sons, are seated together. A massive meteor suddenly rises in the sky, detracting everyone's attention from the baseball game. As everyone is captivated by it, the game finishes abruptly and players begin to leave for their homes. But to their astonishment, enormous alien-like creatures show up and begin to stir up trouble. Several individuals are instantly devoured and killed, while Lee, who is with Regan, tries to figure out what's going on and talks to a policeman. An extraterrestrial nearby attacks a car. He takes his daughter out of fear, and the two go into a store to find safety. Along with other terrified people, they remain silent inside. Unfortunately, the extraterrestrial is drawn to the sound of a girl's phone ringing. It enters the store quickly and causes chaos. Although the alien is pursuing them, Lee and Regan escape through the back door. They eventually meet up with Evelyn and the boys in a covert location. When the alien approaches, a courageous police officer fires at it. Unfortunately, the beast still manages to murder him despite the bullets. The narrative then jumps ahead to day 473 following the incident. Following part 1, this scene is the same. The Abbott family is currently leaving their devastated home with a newborn boy. Here, we learn that Lee gave his life in order to protect Marcus and Regan from an alien. On day 89, Bo, the youngest child, perished when an extraterrestrial was attracted to his toy rocket because of its noise. The family then starts strolling along Lee's sand path in an effort to locate a better cover. The infant is being carried by Evelyn in a soundproof trunk that has blankets inside and an oxygen cylinder attached to it. They finally encounter a wire fence with a little opening after hours of wandering. Evelyn cautiously maneuvers through, but her luggage becomes trapped and makes a noise. When she turns to check behind her out of fear, she unintentionally trips a tripwire, sending several bottles flying and creating a loud boom. She quickly instructs her kids to leave after hearing this. At the same time, we notice a person with a rifle in hand watching the family. An extraterrestrial is drawn to the noise of the breaking bottles and charges in their direction. Marcus steps on a metal trap while attempting to flee, severely hurting his leg. He is able to maintain his silence for a time, but when he realizes his hurt foot, he screams. Regan rapidly creates a loud noise with her amp, microphone, and cochlear hearing aid. After realizing the danger, we learn from the first section that the aliens have a weakness for high-frequency noises. Evelyn shoots this alien in the head to end it as it cries in agony. After that, the family flees inside an abandoned structure nearby before fleeing again, since another alien has now arrived. The person watching them suddenly snatches Evelyn, covers her mouth with his palm, and motions for them to follow him. The man leads them around a corner and down to a soundproof bunker, where he locks the door. The door won't lock from the outside when there is a towel covering the latch, which also muffles noise. There is enough oxygen inside the airtight bunker to endure for an hour. Once they are secure, the man tells them that there isn't enough food or water for the family to stay. Evelyn names him Emmett when she hears his voice because she instantly recognizes him. The man replies by showing his face and taking off his baseball cap and scarf. He really is Emmett. He regrettably admits that both of his boys passed away on day 1. When Evelyn inquires about his children, he also states that his wife passed away from a disease 11 weeks ago. Since they were buddies, Evelyn wonders why he didn't come for them. Emmett replies that he didn't have the strength to go save others after losing his own family. Regan walks over to her brother, who is resting after getting his ankle fixed. As the talk continues, she permits him to put on headphones and scan the frequencies while listening to radio white noise. When Marcus hears music on the radio, he wakes up. This suggests that a signal is being sent by someone. Emmett, though, claims that all that is happening is that the same song is being played repeatedly. Regan later determines that the signal is coming from a nearby island, about a day's walk away. Using her father's diary and the map, Marcus is awakened in the middle of the night by Regan, and they head to the soundproof vault to discuss their strategy. She follows the railroad tracks in an attempt to get Marcus to assist her in finding the radio tower, in order to broadcast the high-frequency noise produced by her hearing aid, which reveals the alien's weaknesses. Regan plans to go to the station. She thinks that this would make it possible for anyone with a radio to play the loud noise and protect themselves from the aliens, which would be a big step toward a safer life. The young boy thinks the proposal is too risky and is dubious about it. To follow in her father's footsteps, Regan is resolved to put everything she has into it. As a result, she packs her things the next morning and heads off on her own. Evelyn begs Emmett to pursue Regan and bring her back after finding that she has left. The latter says he will not allow a child to die again, and immediately agrees. Regan discovers a derailed train in the interim, and gets aboard the front carriage. She finds a lot of bones and dead bodies within. In the driver's compartment, she also sees a first aid box, but finds it difficult to access. Regan eventually succeeds in grabbing the box, but as she does so, the bones of the deceased driver fall on her, making her scream. Regan becomes trapped as this commotion draws an extraterrestrial to the area. When it seems as though she may perish, Emmett comes just in time and kills the thing with a shot. They then seek safety in a nearby station office to avoid attracting any further aliens. Emmett says he's there to return her to her house. However, Regan adamantly declares that she won't go back until she locates the neighborhood radio station. When Emmett's wife passed away, she revealed to him that there was nothing he could do, but now there is something they can do to help others. Emmett initially objects to going with her to the station, but after observing the young girl's persistence, he eventually agrees. Meanwhile, Evelyn chooses to leave her kids at an abandoned house, while she searches for more supplies, after learning that the oxygen in the cylinder is about to run out. Evelyn believes that she must leave Marcus, since his foot will get worse, and she cannot afford to lose him as well. Marcus is afraid and hesitant to part with her. After some time, Evelyn makes her way back to the sand walk, following the same path her family traveled on day one to the store where Lee purchased oranges. Later, when she reaches the bridge where Bo tragically passed away, she makes a stop at the temporary shrine there. She crinkles her eyes as she strokes the pictures and sets her wedding ring atop the cross. Marcus, on the other hand, makes sure the infant is sound asleep back at their base, before he exits the bunker to investigate the complex. He discovers a room filled with paintings created by Emmett's sons. As he continues his exploration, as he makes his way upstairs, he finds a half-decayed body, probably Emmett's wife, concealed in one of the rooms behind some curtains. He is startled by this realization, and as a result, he accidentally knocks over some items, drawing the attention of an extraterrestrial nearby. Marcus quickly returns to the basement out of fear, gets the infant, and puts him in the silent vault. The stopwatch and radio are then taken as he returns outside. He somehow enters the vault and shuts the door as the alien approaches. Marcus is unaware that the towel is not covering the door latch, causing the door to lock from the outside. Emmett and Regan arrive at a harbor in the late afternoon in quest of a boat that will take them to the island. Surprisingly, they come upon a young girl sobbing at the end of a bridge. The moment Emmett approaches her to offer assistance, the young girl suddenly ties a noose around his neck. After that, a bunch of untamed people show up and seize Emmett. Regan is led away after being subjected to a supply search and having her hearing aid taken away. Emmett now understands that they are in serious trouble, and comes up with a daring approach. He motions for the young girl to jump into the water before releasing himself from the net. He then purposefully starts yelling and assaulting the thief of Regan's hearing aid. As expected, the disturbance draws the aliens' attention, and they attack the harbor, killing numerous men in the process. Emmett, who is still carrying the man, dodges the aliens' approach by diving into the sea and handing the bad person over to it. The alien dives into the ocean as it hears Emmett in the distance, but it struggles and eventually perishes, since it is unable to swim. Emmett is made aware of the creature's additional vulnerability by this. The two then board a boat in the following scene. Emmett hands Regan her hearing aid back after holding it in his mouth. They guide the boat in the direction of the island. After cutting all the ropes, In the meantime, a boat that is broken free from the docks is seen with an extraterrestrial stranded on top of it. Marcus returns to the base and notices that he needs to open the door, since he is having trouble breathing. He makes every effort, but ultimately gives up in despair after failing. He hears the baby sobbing as he opens the baby's trunk at the same moment. He is forced to give the infant some of his oxygen until it finally falls asleep. When Evelyn gets back to the base, an alien can be heard making a loud screech. She quickly risks her life in a terrified attempt to save her kids. The alien escapes without being hurt, despite Evelyn's attempts to blow it up with an oxygen tank. However, the explosion causes the fire sprinklers to turn on. Evelyn is able to avoid the alien and find her way back to the basement, thanks to the sound of the sprinklers. Regan and Emmett arrive on the island in the next scene and find a colony of individuals who have isolated themselves and are having quite typical lives. During their conversation, Emmett learns that the National Guard was sent to the islands as soon as it was discovered that the monsters couldn't swim. Emmett discovers a ruined boat as he visits the seashore the following morning. The extraterrestrial was on the exact same one. He runs to tell the people about it in his terror, but it's already too late. A number of individuals are killed as the beast hunts and attacks them. Emmett, Regan, and the unknown man safely reach the radio station after saving a young infant boy. With the use of the automobile horn, they are also able to entice the beast to follow them. Unfortunately, the alien pulls the islander outdoors after grabbing his leg via an aperture while they are within the station. The other two run to the radio station, unable to assist him. However, their issues don't stop there. The obstinate beast pursues them and even uses its claws to hurt Emmett. Regan is being pursued, but she is able to hear the sound of her hearing aid in the station. The loud, high-pitched frequency that this emits weakens the beast. Regan seizes the chance to kill it with a metal pole as Emmett, who is hurt and leaning against the wall, watches her act of bravery. The alien is attacking Evelyn, who is holding the infant, back at the base. The radio then starts playing on the same frequency. After weakening the alien with the transmission, Marcus uses Evelyn's handgun to kill it. Regan beams as she takes the metal shaft from the alien's body in the concluding scene. She then abandons her hearing aid on the station's microphone, opening up the frequency for anyone to utilize in order to destroy the aliens.